Dr. Alan Grant could feel the tension in the air as he, Timmy, and Lex carefully secured the raft at the edge of the river. The massive Tyrannosaurus Rex lay just a few yards away, snoring softly in its regal slumber. The moonlight glinted off its scaly hide, adding to the surreal quality of the moment. "Okay, you two," Dr. Grant whispered urgently. "Get in quietly." He gestured toward the raft floating gently on the water's surface. Lex looked hesitant, her eyes wide with fear. "What if it wakes up?" she whispered back. "Oh, come on, Lex. Stop whining," Timmy teased as he hopped into the raft without a second thought. "If you don't get in, I'll make a big noise and wake it up so it can eat you." His laugh echoed softly into the night. "Shut up, Timmy!" Lex shot back defiantly, but felt her heart race at his words. "Quiet," Dr. Grant interjected sharply, shooting them both a warning look. "I think it may have heard you." He turned to see if their bickering had disturbed the sleeping giant. Miraculously, it remained undisturbed. But his patience was wearing thin as he pointed firmly to the raft again and said in a low growl, "Get in now!" Startled by his tone, Lex jumped into the raft alongside Timmy just as they pushed off from the bank. The soft current carried them slowly away from danger, or so they hoped. As they paddled silently toward deeper waters, Lex suddenly covered her mouth with her hands, a clear sign of distress that set off alarm bells for Dr. Grant. "What is it?" Timmy asked nervously. But before any of them could react further, Lex tilted her head back and let out an enormous sneeze that echoed like thunder across the water. "Oh no!" Timmy muttered under his breath as Dr. Grant's stomach dropped. "Hold it!" Dr. Grant shouted just as he turned to see their worst nightmare unfold.
Oh
The
no.
T-Rex was awake. It lifted its massive head from its resting place and let out a mighty bellow that shook everything around them. The colossal beast stood towering over them for a moment, then charged toward the water's edge with terrifying speed. "Quick, we must get to deeper water," Dr. Grant yelled frantically as they paddled faster than ever before. The kids screamed in sheer terror while keeping their eyes glued on their pursuing predator. As they neared the middle of the lagoon, where safety lay beyond grasping jaws and razor-sharp teeth, they glanced back only to see that massive head barely breaching through water behind them. This wasn't going well at all. With one last desperate push from their paddles and hearts racing like wild horses, Dr. Grant shouted out again, "Hold on!" But just when things couldn't seem worse, thud! The T-Rex breached out and slammed its enormous head down towards them with terrifying force. They screamed together as Dr. Grant braced himself against Timmy and Lex, who clung tightly to each other, as if that would somehow keep them safe from being obliterated by this ancient beast. And then, a small roar erupted from behind. They turned wide-eyed towards where they'd just come from. There stood a juvenile T-Rex making its way toward what remained of the larger T-Rex's fresh kill. A sight both shocking and hilarious given their predicament. Incredibly distracted by the young juvenile's antics, the larger T-Rex paused mid-attack to give chase to the juvenile Rex, as it roared and steered toward the juvenile Rex's direction. The young juvenile Rex roared back at the larger T-Rex swimming towards, as it was standing over the larger T-Rex's fresh kill, as to seem to claim it. Bursting out of the water, the larger T-Rex storms towards the juvenile Rex. Realizing this is one fight the juvenile Rex won't win, the juvenile turns tails and runs off with the larger T-Rex in pursuit, giving Dr. Grant one brief moment to think rationally amidst chaos. Now's our chance. With adrenaline surging through him like wildfire, along with panic-stricken wails ringing loudly in his ears, Dr. Grant shouted once more, "Paddle, now!" With newfound urgency fueled by fear, they began paddling furiously away from danger while hoping against hope that luck was finally on their side.